So I'm back now. I took off my clothes and honestly I was about to call it like a day. Well, not a day. Well, not a day. I was just gonna start studying, and then I remembered that I said that I was going to come back and I actually said I was gonna talk about my class EC 606, the algorithms and design class. And I also mentioned that I was gonna say some stuff that happened during the orientation. So since talking about both of those things is gonna take me a long time to do, I've decided that I'm gonna spend the rest of this video just talking about orientation. I do apologize for not picking up my camera during orientation. There's just this school. I don't know if it's a school or just grad. It's just everybody seems so serious, and picking up my camera, I just didn't want to be the one that everybody was staring at and pointing fingers at. But anyway, I did write down things that happened during the orientation. So I'm gonna prop you guys up on my tripod and I'll get to talking. I wrote notes, so I'll go over them with you guys. Give me 1 second. Okay, it feels so good right now because my hands are free. I don't have to hold the camera. And I know I do exercise, but holding a camera for such a long time, you know, it just doesn't feel good. But anyway, let's jump right in. I brought my notebook. So like the first hour was spent, what did we talk about? We talked about immigration, which is very helpful. I wrote tips on that. I'll just go over everything just so you guys know what I know and you guys aren't left out. My paper was creased. Do you see this? I'm kind of upset about that, but the writing is still okay. Alright, so the first part was about immigration. I took pictures at that point because we were sitting in a big arena and there was no place for me to write notes. So yeah, immigration consulting services. What did we talk about? They told us their name, and then we first talked about our passport. They mentioned not to carry that around. Obviously you guys shouldn't be walking around with your passport. Why would you randomly just be walking around with your passport? You need that, so you don't want it to get it lost. If you need identification, they mentioned this too, like use a driver's license or go get a state ID. You can get it without even like getting a driver's license. So they mentioned, yeah, don't walk around with your passport. Make copies of your passport if you need to. Well, make copies of your passport, not if you need to. Just make copies so that you have it on your phone, just in case you do end up losing your passport, or in case you do need your passport. Sometimes a lot of people might just like accept a picture of your passport, so just make sure you have a picture of your passport on your phone. Then we talked about Ontario driver's license. So basically they mentioned that if you have a driver's license from a foreign country, you can use it in Ontario. Yeah, this province is Ontario. You can use it for up to 6 months, but after that it's not going to be valid. So might as well, before you hit the 6-month mark, try and get an Ontario license. I have to look into that, so I'll let you know how that process is, but they mentioned that you should do that. What else? So they mentioned that when you come to USA, what am I saying? When you come to Canada to study, you need a valid visa, of course, to enter into the country, and you need a study permit. So once you're in the country, and if you don't plan on leaving the country anytime soon, if you're visa in your passport expires, it's okay. Like, it's not that big of a deal, especially if you're not planning to leave the country. The only problem would be like if you leave the country and your visa is expired, obviously you can't get back in. But it's okay if like you're in the country and you don't plan on leaving anytime soon, like for your visa to be expired. What isn't okay is your study permit, which they issue to you once you get to the airport. So I landed in Toronto airport, and that's where they issued me the study permit. So the study permit is what keeps you in the country, you know, because you came to Canada to study. Once that's expired, then you have a problem. So don't ever let that expire, because when it expires and you still have your education to continue on with, if it's expired, you're going to end up paying about $350 extra to get it renewed, because you shouldn't have let it expired. And also, while they're issuing you the new document, you can't study or you can't even work. So keep that in mind. I guess I won't go into details with everything. Another thing they mentioned was working in Canada off campus. Let me just go into this. Let me see if I can show you guys this. Oh, come on, focus please. Yay! Okay, hopefully you can read that. But basically it gives an outline of working in Canada as like an international student. On campus you can work an average of 10 hours per week, which is not too great. But I guess like as a master's student, you really don't have too much time. Like I was saying earlier, I have a ton of work, so I'm not even sure if I'm gonna work this term because I need to get my shit together. But you can work off campus full time. Okay, so you can work off campus. The first portion mentions part-time work. You can work off campus, part-time work, 20 hours maximum per a week, and you must be a full-time student. And then what else? Full-time off campus. If you're working full-time off campus in Canada, you can work up to 20 hours maximum per a week, and outside Canada it's saying no restrictions. And another thing to note is that when I was like looking to apply into this university, I noticed the schedule. There's really not a big break in between our terms. Like we have the fall term, which is 4 months, and then we have the winter term, which is 4 months, and then we have the spring term, which is 4 months. So there's literally like less than 10 days in between these terms. So like I had to ask them, like, is it necessary to take each term like consecutively, because it's a bit crazy. There's no break in between. And they said yes, because I was thinking maybe I could take a term off and work and make some money and then come back to school, but you can't do that. So yeah, just keep that in mind. What else? Talked about getting a social insurance, not social security number, social insurance SIN number, which I'm gonna look into getting soon. So much information was given, this is crazy. And then they mentioned permanent residency. So they advise people to apply for permanent residency after their first year of studying in Canada. But they also mentioned that you could be eligible to apply for permanent residency even before your first year, like depending on if you have some work experience, your previous education, where it was at, how well you can speak English and a little bit of French. So since I have like dibbles and dabbles of those qualifications from my past, I feel like I'm gonna look into that, because I should be able to apply for permanent residency right now. So I'm gonna look into that. And another thing they mentioned was that like since we have such a demanding course at the moment, we could look into getting a consultant or like a lawyer or paralegal. So I think I might do that. If I'm eligible to apply, I might look into getting a lawyer, because your girl needs to be a permanent resident of Canada. What else? Oh, so they talked about post-graduation work permit. So this is different with the state with the states, basically. So after your program is over, you basically get OPT in the United States, which is about a year to work. You have about 3 months to secure a job, and if you can't, then basically you lose that year. But if you're able to secure a job in that 1 year with a company that is e-verified, then depending on where your major was, like if you're a STEM student, then you could apply for an extension of your work permit. So you could get a 3-year extension, and if your company wants to keep you or like able to stay after that, you can apply for another extension, which is wonderful. But the way that Canada works is that your permit is tied to the length of your program. So if you are a master's student with a program of 12 months, like if you were in school for about 12 months, that is 3 terms, then you can get a permanent that is 12 months long. However, if you're a master's student where your program ranges from like 16 months to 23 months, that is 4 terms and more, you could get a permit that could last you up to 3 years, which is pretty amazing. Hopefully I can do that. I mean, my term ranges from like a little bit more than 1 to 2 years. So I'm gonna aim for the 3-year permit, hopefully. Hopefully that's for me. What else was talked about? They talked about health insurance. What is cool about Canada is that not only are we forced to pay for health insurance. Our health insurance is called University Health Insurance Plan. So not only are we paying for that, we pay for a dental plan, which is amazing, because in the States you don't get a dental plan, which kind of sucks because your teeth are important and they are expensive. So the fact that I have a plan here in this school is I need to look into like the actual benefits though, like how much is coming out of my pocket, you know, for for my appointments. So hopefully I will look into that and let you guys know, or when my teeth start to hurt and I need to go to the dentist, I'll pick up my camera and tell you guys how that goes. What else was talked about? All right, that was all from my, so that was the beginning. That was from like 10 a.m. to 12, and then from 12 to 1 we had lunch. Of course, our lunch was pizza, but I went for the healthier side. I chose the vegan pizza, which was a really good choice. Don't be picky, guys. Maybe try the vegan pizza and then come back and thank me because I told you to try it. But so after 1, we went into a period where there were 4 blocks, 4 block sessions. Each session had 4 topics to choose from, and they were in different parts of the university. So that was walking for us. And yeah, I picked a few. I picked 4 actually. I went to 4, and I'm just gonna briefly go over them with you guys. The first one that I picked was called Maximizing Your Experience. So of course they mentioned the Center for Career Action. If you guys are in uni, college, I advise you to go visit your career center from the beginning. I mean, my school just started, so I haven't gone yet. But I'm advising you, and I'm advising myself that I should probably make it to the career center, or at least check out what's going on with the career center. So they mentioned that there are events coming up where people with experience are going to be put on a panel, and they're going to talk about the experience and how you should network and so on. Let me read exactly. So the Career Center hosts stuff like employer panels, information centers, conferences. There are workshops about how to get a job using LinkedIn, and of course ways to connect on Twitter and on LinkedIn. Okay, so a quote that they mentioned that really struck out to me was, grad school experience counts as professional experience. I didn't know that. And that's wonderful, because every single time, like in my resume, I think to myself, like, what professional experience do I really have? I worked in a gym. That counts as professional experience, actually, because it just does. It was an actual job. I worked as an operational monitor, and then I moved up to an operational coordinator, and then I moved up to just a coordinator, basically, like a supervisory position. I had the responsibilities of dealing with the safety of the building, so that counts as professional work experience for me. And I also had some teaching experience. Like, I've been a teacher's assistant, but I'm not sure. I was never really sure that that counted as professional experience. So I don't really, like, what I'm trying to say is that I don't have enough professional experience, or at least professional experience in my field, which my background, which is mechanical engineering. So just the fact that graduate school is going to count as professional experience, where I could put under like my work and experience in my resume, that really kind of made me happy. So just keep that in mind. Grad school is counted as professional experience. And then we talked about a few things. Like, she said this quote, and she told us to fill in the blank. So I was motivated to enroll in my graduate program because ... And the other thing is, 2 things I'm hoping to get out of my graduate program are ... So basically this is like planning, prioritizing your time. Like, you're in grad school, you should know what you want at this point. Like, at least know what you want to gain at the end of this experience. Don't just waste your time. Basically, have a plan, have a goal, make sure that you're moving towards your goal every single week, maybe every single month. You get what I'm trying to say. And even if you don't, hopefully I can explain a little bit more in my upcoming vlogs. And then I mentioned a few things that employers are looking for. So basically, they've taken a survey and they've found things that employers are looking for when they're trying to hire people. So a few things are communication, information management, numeracy skills, positive attitude, teamwork, project management, continuous learning mindset, and adaptability. Just in case you guys are looking for skills to add to your own skill pool, those are a few things that you might want to think about. The next, there's a lot more information. I'm not gonna keep going, so actually, I think I'm gonna stop there. There are 3 other blocks: networking as a graduate student, understanding your mental health and well-being, getting involved, finding and prioritizing opportunities. So those were the 3 other blocks that I went to later on this afternoon. And then after that, we had another like social gathering where we were supposed to be networking with other grad students. I didn't really stay too long for that because, as I mentioned, I have a lot to do. So let me know, you guys, if you really liked what I just talked about. I have 4 more pages of notes, and I don't want to bombard you guys with information the way I was bombarded. So if you guys would like for me to go in depth with those topics, let me know in the comments below, and I'll probably make a part 2 to this one. And yeah, as I mentioned, I do not want to disappear completely from my YouTube channel, so I'm gonna be introducing my study sessions with you guys, just so you guys can get a background, as I mentioned. And I think that's about it. I was gonna say something earlier. Let me see if it comes to my mind again. Nope. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. So I guess I'll see you guys soon, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Really soon. I was really hoping Emmanuel would pop up into my vlog, so it wouldn't be just me in this vlog, but he's being too cool. I met some other pretty cool people in this, at this, what is this, orientation, at this orientation. People don't really talk too much, so anyway, I'm gonna end the vlog here. I hope you guys enjoyed the new chapter in my life. I feel like there's always a new chapter in my life, but yeah, this is the new for now. I will see you guys soon. Bye.